Yeah. We're back. Saucy and Hush on the couch. On the couch. What episode is this?
7.
We climbing the charts. What's going on? We're here by the grace of God. We woke up. We able to come back and sit and chat with you. I'm just going to dive right in. I mentioned it earlier in the month, and I was having a moment. Saucy could vouch. I had my little Aaliyah moment for her memorial. We won't say what day, it was this week. And I was going through her music, and she kind of gave me that Biggie feel. You see how when Biggie's been gone so long, but it's just, you could just listen to the music and it still hit. Some of her shit was really hitting. So I had my little moment. Once again, Memorial, sleep in peace. Aaliyah, we still miss you. I'm gonna move along with that. What you have to say? Did you like Aaliyah? I'm sure you did, but how into the music were you? Just a little something, or you thought she was alright?
I was a Aaliyah fan. It's like once I started getting into her music, it's like then all of a sudden she was gone.
So by the time you got comfy,
Mm-hmm.
you wanted
So
more.
Rock the Boat.
Flats, hit, fire.
Actually, I think when I was actually giving birth to my fourth daughter, my niece was in the weight room singing one of Aaliyah songs. I'm like, that's what's up for the dragon. So it's crazy.
That's another
but,
hit.
Yeah, it's a couple of songs that I like from
Fire.
her. So yeah, definitely Sleep in Peace. 20 years. Damn.
I don't even want to really marinate on that too much because that exposes folks' ages, and we're gonna leave that be. Moving along in the areas.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, now I'm gonna go quickly through my man Manny Pacquiao. He's just a year older than me. Had a fight over the weekend. I mean, I think he did good, but he didn't get the victory. So, damn, Pacquiao. But that was a good fight. He fought his ass off, and shout out to him. And I had to shout that because that was good to see that event. Then, moving on, we have Kobe's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
That also passed this week. That's also a tragedy. I was looking at some highlights, and it was crazy. Just the memories of him again. It's a moment of silence for both Kobe and Aaliyah. But yeah, I had to mention those two. You still see plays that he did, just incredible shit he did on the court. Man, it's just wild, man. Summer Jam. So we had a Bobby Smurder and Rowdy Rebel sighting, and they didn't get to perform before a hot second. The song Hot. So Rowdy Rebel had to go and apologize because I think it was expected for him to perform more than that, them to perform. I think French Montana brought them out. So it is what it is with that. But Summer Jam went down, and that was something that was alarming. Do I have any other current events? Yankees, 11 games in a row. I don't usually talk this stuff. You know, Saucy and me, we a little more political than that, but I had to shout out the Yankees. 11 games in a row. Y'all go with y'all bad selves. They're fighting. It's almost the playoffs.
So they won 11 games?
In a row.
Wow.
They're on a current 11-game win streak.
Congratulations to them.
New York. What else do I have? While Saucy trying to get a drink right.
I'm about to throw this whole thing away.
Let me grab mine before something bad happens. We need to have like covers with straws. I can't think of nothing else current event wise. I think you gotta jump in with yours.
I ain't got a current event.
Yeah. Unless you wanna.
I'm gonna be drinking yours. So.
No do-over? Let's start from the top.
Nah, I'm just gonna drink your drink.
Hopefully nothing gets in there with you holding it.
So, because we are our base is mainly relationships, trying to get relationship advice, learning from one another, learning from other people. This current event, well, current, it's crazy to me, but Del Curry and Sonya Curry, I thought it was a
The
gym.
parents of Steph Curry, one of the greatest all-time three-point shooters and shooters all around in the NBA.
Just by the name Curry, they should know what the hell I'm talking about.
Shout out to brother Steph Curry, he balls his ass off too. Anyway, those are the kids of the parents we're talking about.
They've been married for 33 years. The wife, Sonya, filed for divorce back in June. Now, from what I've read, when she filed in North Carolina, at that,
Not NC.
yeah, in the documents it was stated that, there was cheating involved. Me, I'm
Go in.
I'm not a fan of cheating. Been there, done that. 33 years, meaning that I guess it has been years of it back and forth. He said that she was cheating. She said he was cheating. It probably came to a point where, I'm just assuming that, he might have stepped out first. She forgave. He's probably stepped out again. And then she was like, you know what? I'm about to have my fun too. And it just became a cycle of cheating and not trusting. 33 years.
Wasn't that Jesus' age when he got hanged, crucified?
I was married for 15 years. And that by itself was a lot. So at 33 years, I wouldn't know what to do in that situation where
You're really feeling what they're going through. You're trying to like embrace the moment and see like what would make it get to that point.
Because I know what it's like to get to being in a relationship with somebody from young and spend so many years, have kids with that person. The kids are now older and trying to tolerate a lot of the stuff. And then after having so much build up animosity towards somebody, being in the house, I also read that they were no longer, sleeping with one another. I think she had moved out, or he claimed she moved in with somebody. It's just nasty. Ever since everything came out in the open, it's just been nasty. He's saying she's staying with a guy. She's like, no, I couldn't be in the house anymore. And it's just like, what I do respect about them, you wouldn't have known that they were going through this. They supported the kids, came to the games together.
Well, they're older.
I know.
And this is like an achievement, how real is that to have both your kids in the NBA? So that's positive enough alone for them to be mature about it. They didn't have to, you're right, but I feel like they're older, so that's why they was able to embrace that.
And and the reason why I say it is because a lot of people don't do that now. It's like when shit happens, it's all over. Everybody knows about it. It's like they dealt with it in-house to a point where she ended up filing. It's like once she filed back in June and this is about to be September, we're now hearing about it. So they did a good job of hiding it and keeping it under wraps and keeping it, how I say, in-house, because I'm a firm believer of keeping all the stuff that you guys are dealing with, especially married couple, in-house. No one needs to know. Because if they did decide to go back together and just say, you know what, let's try to make it with that, let's try to make this work. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's not an option now because she did file for divorce. It's just, dang, I wouldn't know. I mean, I know in me, like, yo, I'm out. But 33 years, I'm like, damn. She's 50, I think she's 50 something years old. I have to look it up. She's 50 something years old. It's like, wow.
To
learn somebody.
I think that they're an
again.
age that social media and people being nosy and diving in your business, that comes at whatever age to an extent. But I think because of the age of them and the respect that they do got across the league, that's why we didn't hear about it and nobody's really digging in their business like that. They're of the older nature. Like if Steph Curry, God forbid, and his wife was going through that would have definitely surfaced faster.
Because it's more this generation.
Right.
But I think if everybody stuck with the older generation, because grandmas and grandpas have that same mentality, where grandpa stepped out and had a baby in some other relationship, and that grandmother took that baby in like it was her own, and it's just.
Sonya's 55. They're not saying what Del Curry's age is. Oh, 58.
Okay.
55 and 58. So you see that age range right there, the people on their level probably is not all nosy and quick to chatter about it. You know what I mean? So that's again probably a reason. But they also probably was discreet, like Saucy said, in keeping that low because it really is nobody's business. And people go through shit, and the more secretive you keep it, again, if there's room for fixing, there's room for change. You don't really want that out there as, oh, didn't y'all just say it's a rap? But y'all cannot give a fuck because it could still come out and y'all still could work on it. So we just wish the best for both of them and in this situation. And we're not there to judge and really say who was wrong, who was right. You know what I mean? And y'all made some great kids and continue to support those great kids because they have legacies to uphold. Steph Curry's definitely Hall of Fame. His brother's not that far behind. If he stays in Philly, they can go real far. So they've been successful, and just keep it that way and spread that positivity in the Curry family. So I had one that I found in the thing that's kind of current event-ish. T.I. felt the need to make a post or go live or whatever to big up Lizzo. Lizzie, that's the heavy singer chick. He was saying that she's perfect, she's talented, and she's beautiful, so there's no need to listen to critics. So I don't know if I don't follow her fan base or what's going on. They criticize her size, they criticize some things about her, and he's saying that she's great. Don't listen to that. What's your take on that?
It's what I kind of sort of mentioned it on episode 6 about how people, the media, people always have something to say regardless if you're doing good or bad, and I kind of sort of mentioned how they were kind of like getting on Lizzo because her and her and Cardi did a video together. I haven't seen it. I've seen some little clips of it, and I guess I don't know what the people had said, but they were really being real harsh on Lizzo, and she kind of broke down on social media and was like, I'm not upset, but I mean, you work as hard as you do, and you are in the music business, and I am as well. And some people are perfectionists. So for people to constantly judge your work or how you look, and like with me, I have a thick skin because I know people is always gonna freaking talk about you, say whatever about you, but sometimes if you're constantly getting that jab, especially when you're doing something for a living and people are always downing you, it can get it can be emotional. Not saying that she was upset that they were bashing her because of us. I don't know what they were saying. If it was her way, her music, or whatever, but she was like, I don't care what people say. It's just mentally draining to constantly always defend yourself. So I guess T.I. came in and spoke on it because a lot of people was like, listen, who are you guys to judge anybody? So he put his 2 cents, and I didn't see that. But yeah, I do know about a little bit the whole Lizzo thing, and that was probably like a week or 2 ago that she was on social media, and she was very emotional about it.
I thought that was good. I mean, anybody, I guess in a celebrity life who would have stepped up for her, I think that was dope. I didn't get to hear what the criticism was, but I'm pretty sure that, like you said in the last episode, that there's always going to be criticism for everything you do, no matter what. To ignore it, I can't really tell you how much you can ignore something, but you should use it for positive fuel to say that if they're not talking about you, that means you're not doing anything. So I don't know how long can you carry that. That's per individual. In my shoes, I would just continue to use it as much as possible to my advantage to keep doing my thing. So Lizzo, and for every other celebrity that's gone through any kind of unnecessary criticism, use it as fuel and make these bangers. Keep doing your thing, whether it's in music, acting, etc. Because I'm sure all across the spectrum they get criticized, for sure. I'm not gonna go too deep into the Monique thing with her Netflix rant about not getting a certain amount of money that she felt she was entitled to. This is a whole story, so I'm not gonna really go. But even in that, I'm telling her to hold her head up as well. And y'all heard that story. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna give Saucy a tongue twister. Halfway in. For people who want the long haul, the marriage, the one person to wake up to every day for the rest of their life, versus the ones who may not particularly want that at the moment, and maybe they fear it or they're afraid of it for somehow. So when
commitment issues.
Right.
Okay. So
my advice, harshly, I don't really have to talk about the ones who want to settle, because you just pick and hopefully you choose right, or you move on. You give your do's, your don'ts to yourself. You monitor, you watch, you have your little list in your head. Mm-hmm. But for the ones who are having these commitment issues, I had a saying that says, you can never settle if you don't care how you treat it. So I know that's a little tongue twister, which is why I said I'm giving you that. What I mean by that is the thick skin you just used as an example. If you don't want to commit to one person, and I'm not judging, you have to have this thick skin Saucy was talking about, even thicker, because that's the catch 22. You can be out there and you can be as truthful as you want to be, dating this, dating that, multiple datings, right? But and you're truthful, but I've been there when I was younger, and even when you have a lot of options and you're able to do that, you still have lonely moments because no one is yours. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, like I give an example without being too specific, again, when I was younger, no one was mine and I was nobody's, right? But everybody's doing them. I remember it being one weekend when I was supposed to work, but I didn't. And because of the freestyle of that, meaning the last minute of the schedule switch up, I ain't have nothing to do. So I figured I was that ill that if I'm multiple dating, even last minute, I could get somebody to pull up. But I wasn't able to. That sign stood out to me. So it doesn't matter your accessibilities and who you have. There can be a moment when you have to troop it alone. And maybe that doesn't fear people. Maybe they go, well, whatever. If I can't get nobody to pull up, I'm good. What do you think in the sense of having the thick skin to know that if you're not going to settle, you're gonna have lonely moments? Or do people, are they naive to think that no matter how many people they date, they should never have a lonely moment because they're dating 5, 6 people?
Yeah, it really depends on that person. The reason why I said because some this day and age, people are different. Like they have some people just might want to be damn alone and they just want to deal with people when they want to deal with them. So some people might not mind being alone. Some people might not like to be alone. So that's why they deal with multiple people. And it's probably some people who it's different. It's different. What do you call it? The Z generation. It's just different.
Not Z.
Well,
you broke it down like I like, but I meant more like, okay, so the people who want to be lonely or have moments like that, then they have this thick skin then. But the example I gave was to say that if you don't want to be alone and you have no choice, that's different. You know what I mean? So I just found that interesting because I don't know if men, I think women go through this less because if they choose to date multiple people, they always gonna have some, sorry guys, there's always they always have like the dope boys, they have like the mid-level decent guy who has a job that's trying to get with them, and then they have the cornball lames that's just thirsty. So I think women deal with this less. So if they do have a moment where they are alone, but they want somebody to pull up, I think they can get somebody to pull up. But I think with men, if we choose this hard exterior that we don't want to be with nobody, we just want to do us, I think we may run into that lonely moment more.
I think so.
I mean, because I think, unless it gets real desperate, I don't think we have that super bad chick, the middle average chick, and then the lame chicks. Because if we do, I don't think we're going to want the lame chicks to pull up on a lonely moment because it's like, I really don't like this. But
that's probably how you feel.
They probably still do it. Like just to say, just to not be alone. Mm-hmm. But I think even back then when I used the example of me personally, I think even all levels of chicks, I still couldn't get anyone to pull up. It was just one weekend, I won't forget. And I was like, damn, even the ones I don't really want are occupied. So there's more of that.
That wasn't your weekend.
Yeah, but maybe it's more that. I think that women plan better. So if I have a bunch of girls, they will plan their shit if they don't hear from me by a certain time. Even the lame ones who may want to just be with just me, even though they know what it is. If I don't holler at them by Wednesday, Thursday, they probably already gonna have their weekend squared. Versus y'all lucky women, you don't have to give a guy, I don't think, the heads up like that Wednesday, Thursday, unless he got kids and he just gotta take care of his kids or some real responsible shit. But if he gotta turn up, he'll dub the turn up for you.
It all depends on who you deal with, and well, in my aspect. When I was out there, I mean, I will always check first because I know, this particular guy did have their child on certain days, and I'll let you know in a couple of days, like what you doing this day, that day, just to make sure that it didn't, we did decide to link up, it wasn't an inconvenience for him. So,
that's a good one.
And if he say, okay, I'm doing something this weekend, then I'm just gonna be at the house then, chilling. And then it like I said, it all depends on the situation and these individuals. I just think that weekend wasn't your weekend. Like you said, you probably took too long, and if these females did have multiple men like you had multiple women, if you ain't hear from you in a certain amount of time, it is what it is. It ain't their fault. You wanna get them last minute.
No. I wasn't really zeroing on that. And you always gotta get. See, the women and men war never end. And my point was really trying to show that they got the favor on this shit. Because I'm telling you, if me and Saucy knew each other at the time I was talking about, she could probably get somebody to pull up last second. and I'm not talking about just Saucy, but I am, because she's amazing. But I mean women in general. Y'all know y'all always got that anytime, anywhere dude. You know what I'm saying? And I was just a little jealous of that at my younger age, because I was like, damn, maybe just me. So dudes out there that's listening, chiming in, comment or whatever, you could brag, brush your shoulders off. Do you have that part of your life when you was the player, you had multiple women, and you can't relate to this? Like, you never had a lonely moment because you was just that lit? And that's what you want to do, fine. Again, the thick skin for it is necessary either way. So whether you could get them to pull up every time, or you go through a lonely moment like I did, the thick skin needs to be there. Because you can't sit there and complain about...
Because I was just about to say, that sounded like an emotional moment. And that emotion got into you and then made you start thinking.
Nah, I think it was just cockiness and ego. Like, yo, I'm that ill. Why would I have a moment like that?
Emotional. If you know that you that ill, then okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It can't nobody tell me nothing about me, because I big myself up every freaking day. Somebody might think I'm ugly. I'm like, oh well, you think I'm ugly because, bitch, I'm not ugly. So it's just,
how did we get here?
It's just because I'm a big fan of y'all people let emotions get to y'all. Like you said, you know you the shit. If these broads didn't want to deal with you at the moment, don't hit me up when I'm occupied with my next broad. Be that cocky person.
Next broad. Oh, you mean telling me? No, I didn't come at nobody for not being able to be there.
You said you was in your feelings.
Yeah, but I don't show the card. That's why I'm mad you exposing me here. Because now if people could add and calculate and go back, then now know that I felt the way about it.
Yeah, he used to feel that way. He don't feel that way no more, okay? But no, I'm just saying for people who, just like you feel like, oh, I'm that nigga, and these broads is not hitting you up, and you're like, damn, am I really the shit? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. It's their damn loss. Look, I am all of that. When they say I'm all that in a bag of chips. Period.
So you're not going to encourage these young men to, or whatever age men, to just settle down? I thought we was like setting them up to do that. You're telling them to be the shit. If they're going to be a player, might as well do it right.
Exactly. Because I'm not, listen.
Well, that's what I said, the thick skin.
And you got to have thick skin. You cannot be emotional. Especially if you had dealing with this chick and that chick and that chick. Don't allow it. And this is what I hate about men who deal with multiple women. They see this one person they do see potential in. Knowing you're not ready to settle down. And that one girl, she probably, talking to other guys too. And what you doing this nigga? Well, I'm doing this. You get mad. Oh, why you going out with this nigga? Why you doing that nigga? Aren't you doing you?
No. We're not going to allow those. Because you see how you check me on me? You see how you check me on my shit? We not allowing those fuck boys. Because you have no right to comment on anything if the game... I don't care what they do. I'm telling you what you cannot. And we would not allow that on our platform. We're not accepting those. We're not going to try to fix those. Because the number one rule in the game is protect your feelings.
But they don't. I hear it every day. And I be looking like, this is what we're doing?
You can't do that. The game is not played that way. But the point is, and thanks to Saucy, that you gotta have the thick skin. You definitely can't be questioning. Question what? The only questions you can ask as a player is Friday or Saturday.
That's it. That's it. Because
shrimp or steak. Me Uber to you or you Uber to me?
Exactly.
These are the questions alone that you can ask in this playing field. So, should we advise those emotional ones to maybe settle down or get more check and order with their shit? Because I don't want them to settle down just because they can't handle the game.
Exactly.
And then they still not ready to settle down either.
And that's what people do. Because
it gets messy.
Exactly, and I see it, and this is why people cheat or people do certain things, and I know because I was in a relationship like that, and I married into something like that, and that person was not ready but wanted it.
Damn, this is exposure hour?
I expose any damn freaking body. I got no damn filter.
We're getting personal now.
So that's why I try to encourage people. Make sure you really want to do this. Don't do this because that person you are with wants to do that, and you want to keep that person happy. So you're settling, knowing damn well.
But man, I'm feeling right now.
You ain't ready.
Yo, I feel the heat on the couch and I ain't even do nothing.
So it's people have to really do reality checks and be in tune with yourself, what you want in your life, because that's why a lot of relationships are not working, because people are trying to make the other person happy or settling because they don't want to lose that special person. Because if you ain't freaking ready, I'm gonna see it.
And it's a very important, all jokes aside, about the mental part of things. So, like, yeah, you can't, we joke, well, we're not joking, but when we say things like keep your emotions in check if you're out there playing in the playing field, or if you think you want to settle but you really don't, but you're getting emotional. Either way, you need to be vocal about these things, because I don't want anybody snapping because they didn't get to mentally speak on things, and now when you see them wild out, do stalking type shit, or yeah, like, can we get into that real quick on explaining that if they can't find a way, they lose it. So what's advice though, before you get on it, what's advice for real to uplift people, because that's why we're here, despite the jokes, despite the checking y'all when y'all wrong. What can we advise? Because people who aren't able to get these thoughts out, their feelings out, because a lot of people do things and they just keeping shit bottled in. I think the playing field, that is the field where a lot of people are keeping shit bottled in, to just be playing and doing whatever they want. Some may act like, nah, I know what I'm doing, I'm out here for the games. But a lot of them that don't want to settle may have issues they don't get to talk about, and that's why they don't want to settle. Maybe we need to continue next time, because this is something we probably have to research and do if we want to really help them on this. Ladies and gentlemen that's listening, if you really want us to dig deeper into this, you have to hit us. You have to DM us or email us. Give them that info you normally do.
At Saucy and Hush. Let me spell it, because last week I did not spell it for Aaliyah. So I'm going to spell it this week for you. Saucy, SAUCY, and spelled out AND, Hush, HUSH. Everything is one word, lowercase, not case sensitive, at gmail.com. And you can also DM Hush or I. My IG is Saucy Amor, spelled like saucy. Amor is AMOR, and Hush is how you stop them. Go ahead.
HOWUSTOPHIM. So again, you have to hit us up, because we'll just move on, because we don't have these issues. So, not to sound selfish, if you want us to dive deeper into this, yeah, no, but seriously, the mental health thing is a big thing. I mean, we can talk about that every episode, because everything that happens in life starts with mental. Relationships, even the Steph Curry situation we brought up, that's a mental thing as well. You know, violence out here is mental. This COVID and vaccine shit is mental. So everything is mental. So if you want us to dig deeper, you gotta let us know. But for what we got left here, what do you want to tell anybody who feel like they're not able to express themselves and they're kind of hiding behind the player life?
You have to. I'm a firm believer of meditation. Meditate. I go to sleep with meditation music. Like, I have to really. I'm one with myself. So it took me a while to get there. I ain't gonna front. It took me a while. I was a person who looked for validation in people And I'm not saying that, I've always been this type of person, hard skin. I had to go through some shit to get to where I'm at and how I am and the way I move. So for the ones who cannot talk, and you said what player, hiding behind the player mentality. If you have to find somebody to talk to. You have to meditate. You have to talk to yourself. Sometimes people be like, oh, you talking to yourself. People think it's a crazy thing, but you have to really talk to yourself and tell yourself, what do you want to do? Who do you want to be? What do you want in your life? What do you see in this person that can help you grow? You can't be the only one growing and that person you with is stagnant. You can't do that. So before you move forward, be in one with yourself first. Get what you got inside of you figured out first, because it always starts with self. Because
I think that's the part that gets neglected, because people are too dependent on other people and feel like they should be able to talk amongst others to get this shit out. It's scary when you have to make decisions. You know what's so scary that people say? The silence. Because when you're by yourself and have to figure these things out, right?
I like the silence, and the reason why I say it, because I work in the streets, meaning that I drive a lot. And it's like,
I say in the street, you doing some drug shit I don't know about? Okay. Cookie Lions.
She
wasn't doing drugs.
I could be a prostitute. What are they doing with them little challenges, scholarship challenges? Talking about the parents with prostitutes. Anyway, but
They better side out. What's going on?
No, I never understood when someone says when you're in the car, your mind races a lot, especially even with the music on. My mind races because it's the silence. I think more when I'm by myself, and my mind is more clear. When I'm home, it's the kids, hush, home, bills. But when I'm by myself, it's when my mind is actually like, all right, Saucy, this, you gotta think about this, what you want to do, where you want to go, blah, 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 blah. And there's a lot of stuff that's like, don't be scared of the silence. Don't be scared of what you're hearing. If that's your body, that's you trying to have a conversation with you. And I hate when people say, that's crazy talk. No, it's not. It's not. And it also could be God talking to you. Look at him for guidance. I'm not saying I'm a firm believer. I'm not Pastor Saucy. But listen, I don't go to church every day, but I know. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you don't be scared of the silence, and don't look for somebody to be a yes man. Or let me talk to you for a second. And people's like, yeah, you should do this. No, because sometimes that person you're looking to, it's not the best advice. And I don't have that issue, because it's like we're talking about everything. And it's like, if I do need to talk, I could come to him to talk. And if I can't come to him to talk, I'm going to be in my zone. I do it a lot. I be in my zone. He's like, you're thinking. Yeah, because sometimes I have to have that talk or mentality. I have to mentally be by myself to really think about some things of what I want to do. Not to say to shut him out. It's just sometimes I need a moment for me to think and talk to myself.
I think that was well displayed. Yeah, you got to start with the silence in yourself, because that is when you can actually solve things. The silence, the quiet. If you really sit there and marinate, if you want to use the meditation music, as Saucy said, when she goes to sleep, she rocks that. You could go to YouTube. And you don't even have to be going to sleep. You can go to it at any time, type in meditation music, sit there, have that play if you really don't want the silence, and then you can still get some things off there. I've solved it took me a while from when I get older, that when you are in that element, you can solve a lot of things because there's no distractions. And like she said, the yes men, and I don't want to downplay anybody who feel like they really got a good friend, a good sibling, a good whoever motivator, then you probably can go to them in certain shit. But the majority of this shit, like Saucy says, starts with you. So you have to be able to at least tackle some shit because nobody's really a personal caretaker to really sit there and solve and figure everything out for you. Because once you've grown, that's it. I don't know what happened in your childhood, not to criticize and downplay that, but that was the time for that. Once you're grown, you're on your own.
Hello.
So you're going to have to just eat that up and try to see what you could figure out. And, it may take time. It's not overnight. And, that's another thing to point out. The patience level of people today.
Ooh.
Everybody wants it microwave.
Right.
I'm conventional oven.
Very.
So beg the microwave because things are not just happening like that. It's not happening in a blink. If you got a quick come up or something just really happens for you in a moment and you're like, wow, you got to really appreciate that. But you can't expect that to be the norm. Things come over a time.
Ooh, Jesus. Yes.
And that's what makes you appreciate it more. Because the thing I notice about today's age is when it's microwave and you get it quick, you don't appreciate it, you don't take care of it, you don't value it, and boom, that shit is gone.
But that's the thing. That's before social media. If there was no social media, no one knows what the backstory to what these. All they see is like, oh shit, damn, not knowing how many years it took that person to get there. It's just social media messes a lot of people up mentally. Not knowing, like, people, there's a song like this and all they see, that's Mary's song, but one of the lines was like, they envy her because they see her, she got mad checks and stuff like that, but not knowing when she get home, she's on her knees, she had to pray hard and work hard, get in the mud to get to where she's at, but everybody don't see that. They just see her, she writing mad checks and she's living the life.
Not the mud.
Yeah, you gotta get it in the mud. That's a country saying.
That's it, folks. So, we took that moment right there, and it's draining. It's not draining in a bad way. It's draining in a good way because we're saying that to try to give you motivation, and we also apply it to ourselves. But we've been doing that. You know what I mean? So you kind of get, even when you talk about this, you kind of get lost for a second in what you got going on because you got to deal with it yourself, though, and the rewards are so much better when you handled shit yourself. And they say pride and ego is bad, but I can show you an example of when pride and ego isn't that bad. When you handle shit yourself and know that you did it.
Mm-hmm.
So motivation wise, you did it.
Ooh, hallelujah. Shut up.
So, because there was only one drink tonight, we're a little frustrated, so we're going to end early.
Shit. I put a lot of work in that mimosa.
We're still climbing the charts, though. We will be back, and we will match again. Yellow was the vibe tonight.
Caribbean
type of flow. I feel like we're about to be on somebody's beach right now after this.
Yep, in my bed.
The beach bed. What does that do for you, fellas? I guess if you use your imagination, it can take you anywhere, right? But yeah, until the next time, Saucy and Hush on the couch.
Yeah.
Lit. Check us out. Remember, leave them comments, email, DMs, whatever. The more feedback, the more better content we could give you. We doing this on our own because y'all being lazy. Y'all not meeting us halfway. And y'all, y'all got shit going on. We got this.
We getting it from the mud. You understand? We getting it from the mud.
So think on that. Holla back. Peace.